right, let's take a look at some stuff that I was doing earlier. Okay, so I was working on this. I did a video already. The plan was to actually do um, access policy creation. I'd come to the conclusion that's the end result ain't really going to be worth the effort because OIM can already do it, and just creating another version of that would not necessarily be helpful. However, where I'm working at now, we have a need for people to be able to look at a lot of these things that um, doing it through the OIM UI would require a lot of permission changes and things. So this seemed to be the better alternative. So we can view policies. Um, you can see what's in them. You can see what's applications are tied to them. Any values that are tied to those access policies. You can also see applications. Let's see. It's mostly the AOB ones. These are custom ones that I created, so you can see this stuff, but you probably can't see any config because they're not AOB connectors. The AOB connectors you can see, like HR trusted, that these are the flat file trusted. This is a database connector here, so you should be able to see the config of the database connector. There it is. So it's the basic configuration. There's the raw XML file here. And over here are the organizations, catalog attributes, object class, schema. Where'd that go? Here it is. So you can see the schema, how it's set up. This is what you would see if you went into the applications view panel. And so you have that, and you have roles. You can see the roles. If the roles are tied to an access policy, let's see, I think this one is. So you can see these are tied to these two access policies. So you could go to the policies here, look for these. You could see here the associated roles. Eventually I'll get some links to those. You can bounce around, and then you can go view this. There's nothing tied to it here. All right, so now the other thing is you can actually do batch policy operations here. So this I thought was a lot more useful. So we have a tendency to create a lot of these access policies when new roles show up. So what you can do is you can create a file that has as many as you want. Well, I wouldn't probably do more than 50 or 60. It could do more, but if errors start happening, it'll be an ugly mess. But for this case, the only thing it's doing is validating that these don't already exist in OIM before it tries to clone them. So let's go ahead and do it. So this is the file we're going to use. And we go here and we pick the access policy we want to clone. Then we choose the file we want to use as our cloning targets. Okay, now we can upload and validate. So this is going to make sure that those policies aren't already in OIM. And if you're good, then you can actually start the upload. Okay, so it imported 5 policies. Now if we go over here to OIM, right, there wasn't any there. Let's do a refresh. Okay, now we got these policies. They're the same names that are in here. And so now what we're going to do is we can go back and let's do, I don't have that working yet. Nope. So over here we'll go upload another file, and we'll just do the same thing again. We'll pick that one we want to clone. We'll pick the exact same file. Okay, this time we can't. See, they already exist. All right, so that was pretty good. And so eventually, the upload, we're going to be able to do role assignments. So the idea being you clone some policies, then you update them, and you can add roles to them. You can add parent attributes. You can have them. You can set the settings, and if they're already there, you can update them. So the file formats, I'll publish. There's a doc one. Oh, here they are. So And then there's a bundled idea where the child table will have more than one attribute. So in the case of like an entitlement or a role, there's usually one attribute assigned to that child table. But in some cases, you might have two, and those have to be handled differently. So this file type is, when you upload this type, that's what's going to happen. The formats can be CSV or text. It doesn't really matter either way. But right now I only have the cloning working. All of these are actually working. I'm using them now, but in a batch command. So what this is doing is basically front-ending all the batch stuff, and the OIM API is bundled up into its own jar file because it has to be JDK8. This is all, I think, JDK21 with Spring Boot and so forth. So, yeah, and I have it here. Actually, I don't think this is public, but there's a giant README on how this all is laid out. And that's right. Yeah, AI is doing most of the work here. So makes life easier for me, that's for sure. Okay, I'll come back with another video, and we'll probably try some role assignments on the policies we cloned.